Yeah. Okay, so on today's notes, we're solving trig equations. And sine and cosine, if I don't have a domain restriction for my answer, they're going to get plus 2 pi n, where n is any integer, at the end of their answers, because these ones, their graphs go left and right forever. Yeah. Okay. So then, those two desks are open. Then for tangent, this one, it repeats every half a circle. So when I write out my answer, that one will get a plus pi n, or n pi, where n is any integer. Okay, so number one, I want to solve this like a normal equation, and I'm going to pretend like sine x is just a regular x. How would I solve this? How would I solve it if it had an x instead of sine x? Add 1. Then what? Okay, so where is sine of x 1/2? You should have a clue. Remember that chart I told you to remember? I want it in radians. Pi 6. If you don't have that chart memorized, you need to go back to 5.2 day 1 and listen to how I remember it, because you will need to know it for the test.
I remember you said something, it was like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, and then it was 3, 1, 3.
Not quite, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like, one was in the middle.
Okay, so sine is positive in these two quadrants. Right? So the way I'm going to find these angles is the first quadrant is always the angle I got, so that's going to be the pi 6. Over here I'm going to do pi minus the angle. If I'm in the third quadrant, it's pi plus the angle. And the fourth quadrant is 2 pi minus my angle. So what is my second angle? If I'm in the second quadrant, pi minus pi 6 gets me. Okay. And then since I don't have a domain restriction, I'm going to write plus 2 pi n. I can move the pi, 2, and n around because they're multiplied, so order doesn't matter for multiplication. And then I need to say when n is any integer. And this is just to ensure that someone reading this knows that I'm talking about complete circles and not just half a circle. Pi minus pi 6. Because I'm in the second quadrant. Okay. So that's going to get me 2 sine x plus the square root of 2 equals 0. Then what do I want to do next? What am I doing? Mm-hmm. Okay, then what? Okay, so then what quadrants are these in? Where is sign negative? Which two quadrants? Okay, what angle is sine square root of 2 over 2? Okay, so in this quadrant, I'm going to be adding pi to pi over 4. And in this quadrant, I'm going to be doing 2 pi minus pi over 4. Okay, so what two angles do I get? And? So on this one, I don't have to do the plus 2 pi n part because it gives me a specific interval I care about. Normal, so what do I want to start off by doing? Okay, then what? Okay. Do I like it written like that? Okay, so since this radical is over the whole fraction, I can split it to the top and bottom. What? Well, now I can take the square root of 1. What's the square root of 1? Okay, do I like the square root of 3 being on the bottom? Okay, so I need to rationalize my denominator. Can someone close the door? Huh? It's Mr. Wesson's sub. Okay, so what do I get for my answer? Okay. So where does this happen for tangent? Okay, so I heard two different things. I heard the quadrants, and then pi over 6. Because tangent repeats every pi, I only have to do plus pi n. And I don't have to worry about writing this other quadrant, because if I added, like if I plugged in 1 would put me in the third quadrant. So for tangent and cotangent, I only need to write one answer. Questions here? Okay. So, number 7, any ideas on where you would like me to start? No. No dividing. Subtract the cotangent. Okay, any ideas on what to do next? Yeah? You told me to move it. Yeah. I can't because this one's being multiplied by cosine. And this one's not, so I can't combine them. What other ideas can I do? No. I know what you're talking about, but no. So I can factor.
I remember that.
So I can pull out a cotangent of each of those pieces. Okay, and then using the zero product property, I can split this up into two equations where they're both going to equal 0. Okay, then what do you want me to do next? Okay. Okay, so this gets me cosine x equals the square root of 2. Then what? So this one, I'm going for the cotangent. I'm going to use this. Remember, cotangent is x over y. So where is my x value 0? The top and bottom ones, right? So I'm going to write pi halves because this is cotangent. It matches up with tangent. So my rule is plus pi n. And if I add it, if I had plugged in 1 for n, that would give me 3 pi halves. So I'm covered. I only need to write one answer when I have cotangent. But I also had cosine. So where does cosine equal the square root of 2? No. Is it 5/4? So what does it equal the square root of 2? It doesn't. It doesn't equal the square root of 2 because square root of 2 is like 1.2 something. Cosine only works between -1 and 1, so that's too large. So this one is not possible. There's still an answer. I had an answer for cotangent. And then I just need to finish writing where n is any integer. So questions here.